You're listening to an Airwave Media podcast.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality.
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal. I'm here with Matt and Jeff. How are you both today? It's been a brisk, hot day today.
I'm a little disappointed. I really wanted to intro the show. Can you give me an opportunity?
I gave you the opportunity with 1.5 seconds left, but you just didn't take it.
I panicked. That was the problem. I need time. I need to think it over. Think about where Ken is.
Well, we definitely know Ken. We got some intel that he's stuck in a hot spring and he's a little too pruny to show up today. He thought he was going to a hot spring in Japan, but unfortunately he's in
Hot Springs, Arizona.
Hot Springs, Arizona, out of Benihana.
Wrong place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheaper flight, though.
Much cheaper. But yeah, so he's doing okay. So he's not going to be here again this week, but of course we have wonderful guests that are going to take his place. We're going to start with a competitor today. So excited to have her back. We really enjoyed the first time she was on the show. And coming to us from Houston, Texas, a Dutch enthusiast on Patreon, which we cannot thank her enough for, Stephanie Santoni. How are you, Stephanie?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing awesome. So great to see you again. Remind people what you're up to, and it sounds like you had a crazy night last night too.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately a little under the weather due to boozing, but
It's a Sunday flu.
Yeah, I hope my brain catches up, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here, and you're going to be partnering with Matt today, and I'll let you explain where your team name came from.
I have been trying to catch up on shows that everyone talks about that I have not seen, so I binged all of 30 Rock. So we're going to be the Rural Jurors.
All right. And Rural Jurors, I haven't really seen the show. Jeff?
It was a terrible murder.
You have. So what are we going to be, Jeff? Because I don't know any of the references.
So we brought up a bunch of wonderful shows there, including but not limited to Queen of Jordan. And then ultimately we settled on the worst, trashiest of them all. And we're going to be MILF Island.
MILF Island. All right.
It's been so long that was satire that MILF Manor came out and is a real show.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a real show.
I mean, there's so many shows like that, right? Where they get attractive people
it was fake,
and
but
see
it's
what
real.
happens. So yeah, MILF Island versus the Rural Jurors, but we need a host in order to play the game, and we're so excited to have her back. Just a joy always having her on the show. Savage Superstar on Patreon from Bath, Michigan, Kate Hagerman. How are you, Kate?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here again.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here and excited to play your game today, but remind folks what you're up to in Michigan and anything else that's going on in your life.
In Michigan, I normally spend my time teaching high school chemistry, but I'm on summer break right now. So I spend my time doing whatever I want.
Well, good. That's awesome. And we even remarked, I know it's an audio medium, but before we started recording, you have a really cool chemistry wallpaper behind you. And it sounds like you've been doing a lot of housework and kind of fixing up the house and painting and all that kind of good stuff.
Yep. My summers are vacation, but they're always jam-packed. I think I like it that way because I keep filling my calendar. So.
Well, good. Well, we know you put a game together for us today, which was a lot of hard work, and we appreciate everyone who puts a game together for us. We know how long it takes, how many hours it is to write all the questions, so thanks for doing that. And before we get started today, though, we need to hear the rules. Do you have a preference on the rules read?
I think my preference is going to be Dutch Boy.
Wow, that might be the first ever 2 weeks in a row.
Wow.
Dutch Boy, so good on Willem. So that's going to be Willem, our listener and friend from the Netherlands who did the rules read. And for those that don't speak Dutch, 30 questions, most points wins.
You know what? We're never doing it in English again, so if you don't know the rules, too bad. Go back and listen to the old episodes.
All right,
Take it away, Dutch Boy.
Take it away.
De regels van het spel zijn simpel. 20 vragen verdeeld over 2 rondes, waarbij elke vraag 10 punten waard is. Halverwege is er een speciale swingronde, ontworpen door de host van deze week. Na deze rondes beginnen de spelers aan de finale, met de punten die ze hebben verdiend. En hebben ze de mogelijkheid om 0 tot 30 punten in te zetten op 5 gecategoriseerde vragen. Aan het eind van het spel wordt iemand benoemd tot the cream of the crop.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Great read, Willem. We're excited to play the game. Kate, feel free to take it away.
Sure. So part of my duties at my school is I am also the Quiz Bowl coach. And one thing we do every year is our fundraiser is we write and host a trivia night. So I took all these questions from our recent trivia night that we hosted earlier this spring. The questions are written by our Quiz Bowl students and then, of course, edited by me. So I went through, we do 10 rounds of 10 questions. Each round has a theme. So I had a bunch of questions to pick from. So I just picked a couple questions from each round. So the categories that you'll hear today are just the title or the theme for each round. And I tried to repeat the categories. So the question 1 in the first round is going to be the same category as question 1 in the second round for the most part.
Okay.
So you guys will get to hear some high school questions.
That sounds good. And the loser or the winner, depending on how you define it, will be coming to chop some wood on the farm and build you a new, I don't know, maybe a doghouse or something fun like that.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. So if you guys are ready for round 1, question 1, this came from a theme round where the first 9 questions, the answers would all have some common theme, but I'm just going to tell you the theme. The theme is games. So the category today is also a fun game. So recent examples of these include Celtic, Capri, Kitty Hawk, Mogul, and Renegade. And it's Celtic or Celtic.
All right. We are reluctantly locked in.
Oh, we are going to reluctantly talk. We have no idea, right? Is that kind of what we're landing on?
100%. Yeah.
100%. We're looking at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, Renegade, Moguls, Capris or pants, or potentially a sun.
Or a car.
Or a car. There's a lot of things going on here. Let's see. What's a fun game? Twister. Maybe these are tornadoes. Do they name tornadoes? I don't know.
I don't think they name them like hurricanes. No.
Well, I would name them. And I would name them Celtic, Kitty Hawk, Capri.
And this is also a fun game, is a tornado. That makes perfect sense.
No, Twister. Twister's the fun game.
Gotcha. Okay. Give me a minute.
Fun game.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, I'll slow it down next time. It's a category 1 Twister on this one.
All right.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Twister.
Mm-hmm.
Twister. Okay, so we really didn't have any idea. Like, we started on your train of thought. We were like, oh, maybe they're pants. And then they
fun
sound
game of pants.
Fun game of pants. They sound like cool code names or something. But we said maybe they're like types of tycoon. Like there's roller coaster tycoon. Maybe the Kitty Hawk ones for planes or something. I don't know. So we said tycoon.
Neal, you said it. It is code names.
Oh,
which is
code
also
names.
a fun game.
That totally makes sense.
Celtic is President Biden's Secret Service code name.
Who's Mogul? Okay, never mind.
I don't know.
Couldn't tell.
It's funny. As soon as he said code names in the while he was giving the answer, I was like, oh my god, that's so obviously it.
Well, at least now we get the theme. It makes a lot more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
We got it.
Well,
but, yeah.
We'll come back to that theme in question 1 of round or the final or after the midpoint. Question 2 is from current events, and this is, I think, the one science question that I have in here. In April, the Environmental Protection Agency announced the first ever regulations on PFAS in drinking water. PFAS is an acronym. So what I'd like you to do is give the word that any of the letters P, F, A, or S stands for. And this played hard at our trivia night, so I'll give you a hint that one of those letters represents the name and symbol of a chemical element.
All right, so we talked a lot about what these elements could be, but we kind of wanted to go a different direction. Stephanie, what do we lock in with?
I think we're just going to go P for Polly.
Mm-hmm. Polly wants some points. What'd you guys say?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we had a couple discussions. We went into a deep discussion about microplastics in our testicles.
I'm sure you did.
But And I wrote down fluoride and plastic, which I don't think were right, but Jeff had
I think fluoride might be right, but we just said acid because there's a lot of acids out there.
Yeah.
All right. So I heard a lot of correct science terms. P stands for I could take poly or per. Either is used in PFAS. So poly is correct. F is the element. In this case, F stands for fluoro, which is just a shortened version of fluorine. So I would have taken either. A stands for alkyl, which means it's an organic compound. And S stands for substances. So polyfluoroalkyl substances.
So just points for rural jurors. But I did like you saying I heard a lot of great science terms. It made me feel good, even though we were completely wrong.
All right. So on to question 3. Question 3 is from our round Fun with Flags. Each Apollo mission that reached the moon planted an American flag somewhere on its surface. How many total American flags are on the moon?
We're locked in. Thanks, Jeff. Oh, that was my guess, too. I feel good about myself now.
How many flags are up there? Some would argue 0. Not on this show.
That's on our next podcast. Some would argue is with Triviality.
What a great show title. Some would argue. Stephanie, do you have any idea? I'm thinking like probably between 2 and 4, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Exactly. Do we get a buffer or is it we have to be exact?
I think we got to be exact when it's that low.
Oh, great.
I think it's more than 2. So what do you think about 3?
Yeah. Right in the middle.
Yeah. 3 is a number. We're going 3.
Neal, you were very proud of yourself. You want to take this one?
Yeah, I think we had learned maybe a few weeks ago that I think there were 6 trips in total to the moon, like successful trips. So I would assume 6 trips means 6 flags.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we said 6.
All right. The correct answer is 6. 6
Wow.
successful trips to the moon and 6 flags.
So there's not just 6 flags over Texas, Neal.
That's true.
Yeah.
6 flags
now,
over Earth.
Now I'm going to remember this. Before I would not remember it, but if it's tied to that man dancing to that
I was going to say.
song, now I'll remember.
That he's actually still up on the moon.
He dances under it. Poor guy.
All right. So we're off to a good start. We got some points on the board. Question 4 is from our round Fantasy Fiction. It's a short one. What is the name of the, quote, Space Jumanji movie?
We are locked in.
What?
Saw this in the theater.
You saw Space Jumanji?
I saw the Space Jumanji in the theater, and it starts someone Jeff was just watching a video of while you were half sleeping on the couch.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Interesting.
I was awake. I was just resting my eyes, Neal.
It was
Kevin
better for the
Hart in
story that you
Space
were half
Jumanji
sleeping.
too?
I know.
I can't imagine what that even means. Do you have any idea?
I already forgot the question.
It had to do with
Space Jumanji.
Space
What
Jumanji.
is it?
Yeah, what could it be? Are they playing the game in space? That's got to be what it is. And they get sucked into it. What are we looking at? Ender's Game? Maybe what's another space movie? Star Wars? I don't think it's Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Also in the stars.
Also in the stars. Yeah. That's what it was called, was the Space Jumanji movie?
That's what it's referred to, right? And
Yeah.
Some would
That's
argue that it would be called the Space Jumanji.
It does
Because
have an actual name, though, that I'm looking for.
Okay.
But it's basically Jumanji in space.
Yeah, we got nothing else, right?
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. Ender's Game for no points.
So this movie had Kristen Stewart in it and Josh Hutcherson, and I was excited to see it at the time because Jon Favreau had just done Elf, and this was his first movie after Elf, and it's basically, like Kate said, Jumanji in space. We said Zathura.
That's it. Zathura
Don't make
is
up words.
correct.
That means nothing to me.
No.
All right. Question 5 is sports. So Haikyuu is a sports anime based on a high school team made up of wacky Japanese kids trying to win the national championship. With their star duo of Hinata and Kageyama, they took the tournament by storm. What team sport do they play? France. Oh, I have one more bit here. Just to help you out, France won the gold medal in this event in the 2020 Summer Olympics.
Okay, we are going to lock in.
All right. Are you a big anime fan, Stephanie?
No, not of Haikyuu. What about you?
No. I'm not familiar with this one too much. My first thought was I know that there's a basketball anime, but I don't think that that's the answer because the U.S. won the gold in 2020. So my other thought was volleyball because I think there's also a volleyball anime.
And I think France did win the gold in that.
Well, that lines up perfectly. Great teamwork. We're going to go with volleyball.
Almost like you volleyed to each other to, you set Stephanie up for the spike.
For the spike, yeah. You know some terms, just like in Haikyuu, probably.
Jeff, you can take it. You log in and see this every day.
Yeah. It's a Shonen Jump manga, and I read a lot of Shonen Jump manga, but we said volleyball. This isn't one of them, but...
Yeah, the correct answer is volleyball, specifically men's volleyball, but volleyball was the team sport that I was looking for. Nice job. After 5 questions, it looks like the rural jurors are at 20 and MILF Island at 30.
It's never not going to be funny.
All right, question 6 is from our psychology round. The 2023 Apple TV series Shrinking features Jason Segel as a psychiatrist who is mentored by an older colleague played by which actor, better known for movies than for TV?
We're locked in. I love this series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
It's really funny.
I didn't see it, but isn't it Harrison Ford?
That sounds right, and he's more known for movies. I'm kind of out on all Apple TV programs. I just get my preview when Ted Lasso comes back, so now I don't need it anymore. But I think that's right. I remember seeing previews for it. So
yeah, I didn't see it either, but I think I saw like a promo for it.
All right,
Jeff.
Yeah, we said Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Harrison Ford is the correct answer.
Slumming it on TV.
It's a fun show. He's very good in it. He does a really good job.
All right, question 7 is in the category of country music.
Oh, great.
This man was born a sharecropper's son in Mississippi and played in the Negro Baseball League until 1960 when he started his music career. He's considered the first successful Black country singer and is known for songs like Kiss an Angel, Good Morning. Who is this singer?
All right, we'll lock in with a guess.
Well, they have a guess. I don't think we have a guess.
No. Can you pick it up from the sports angle or no?
No. No. As far as Negro League stats and such, they just became official, so I haven't gone back to 1960 yet to see who would become a country star. So when I get there, I will let you know. But for now, I have absolutely nothing. Darius Rucker, in some time traveling, I imagine, involved in some way.
I think we just go with Lucky Johnson.
Lucky Johnson.
So they're locked in with a Lucky Johnson. We had discussed, some blues artists, but some of them sometimes had country songs, but maybe didn't really dip their feet in, totally. But we think it's Charlie something, but we cannot come up with the last name. So we're going to say Charlie, even though it's incorrect.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, you guys are on the right track. This is something that I honestly didn't know until I was reading through these questions. So I thought that made it a good one for me to share. So good trivia for everyone to learn. The answer is Charlie Pride.
Mm. Oh. And what was the name of the song, the most famous song you said?
Kiss an Angel, Good Morning.
Kiss an Angel, Good Morning. I like it, especially on MILF Island, because that's what you tell all the MILFs. You're my angel, right, Jeff?
Uh-huh.
I feel like if you listen to it, you might recognize it. All right, on to question 8. Question 8 is from our before and after round, one of our more popular rounds, as you can imagine. For this before and after, here we go. It says, Dave Brubeck plays this numerical jazz classic while being chased around by haunted animatronics in an abandoned arcade.
We're locked in.
Yep.
My brain doesn't work today, I guess.
It's one of my favorite albums of all time. So
Yeah, we used to play this in jazz ensemble.
Oh, that's not fair. I've never played an instrument.
Life isn't fair, Matt.
Numerical jazz thing?
Is it Mambo number 5? Just kidding.
Mambo number 5 Nights at Freddy is...
I'm writing that down for next time.
Is he take 5? 5.
Mm-hmm. I like Take 5 Nights at Freddy's just because it's a phrase and it seems like could be a jazz thing.
And it's a candy
Maybe.
bar. Yeah.
And it's a candy bar. So we're gonna lock in.
famous for being in 5/4 time. Take 5 Nights at Freddy's. Yeah.
That's it. Good job,
Great
guys.
poll.
I think
For the listeners at home, that we walked completely backwards into that and had no reason getting points for this. no right at all to get these points.
Stephanie is
But
a
we'll see.
huge jazz head, I think. And she's just not telling us.
I'm tapping in secretly.
She spends her Aprils in Paris and her nights in Tunisia.
She's always in speakeasies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
John Coltrane, etc. Right?
Yeah.
I did
didn't
used to
take,
live in Louisiana, but
It didn't take some.
That's probably what it is.
It did take some very giant steps to find that answer. So
I had some Zatarans for dinner yesterday.
All right. Question 9 is from our Elf on a Shelf round, which was visual, but I made it an audio question. So you've heard of Elf on the Shelf. Now get ready for a U.S. president astride a South American pack animal.
I think I got it.
Oh, good.
Okay, so they are locked in, Jeff. So we're looking for a U.S. president on a pack animal.
South American pack animal. Yeah.
What are some South American pack animals?
Is this Barack Obama on a llama?
Oh, I like that. Barack Obama on a llama. Yeah.
Or, yep. I don't want to think any harder than that.
Yeah, I like that. Barack
I'll
Obama
keep thinking,
on a
see where
llama.
this goes.
Did you say overthink it and see how it goes?
Yeah, let's just see where it goes.
Yeah, I had written down Obama on a llama.
That's it. Obama on a llama. Nice job.
Love it.
All right. Question 10 is baseball. This Super Bowl winning quarterback was notoriously drafted by the Detroit Tigers as a prospect in the 37th round in 2014 before joining the NFL 3 years later. Now he's part owner of his city's MLB team.
All right, Jeff. There are a lot of quarterbacks who've been drafted. One of my favorites was one of them, but I think with the clues, we've got it, so we can lock in.
Okay, so they're locked in. There's a lot of quarterbacks who were drafted in to play baseball. Do you know this one by chance?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I think the timeline I was thinking, because originally I was like, it's going to be Russell Wilson. Then it's going to be Kyler Murray. But the timeline adds up to somebody who can afford to own a baseball team because he makes $600 million would be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, we had a similar discussion. We kind of went through all those names. We know Elway was one of the first to do it. I think it was the Yankees.
I also wrote down Elway immediately because I'm like, it's going to be Elway.
Yeah, right. Because I think it was the Yankees that drafted him. But yeah, we said Mahomes. And he's part owner of the Royals.
That is correct. It is Patrick Mahomes. And I believe his dad was also a baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Philly, maybe? Philadelphia, perhaps?
I don't know.
All right.
Great questions in the first round. And the scores are super close, thanks to Stephanie carrying Matt. So we have the rural jurors with 60 points, and MILF Island only one score ahead, but it's the most important score on this week's episode. Make sure you tune in. But 60
I
to
don't want
70.
to talk about people scoring on No Violence.
60 to 70. Before we go to the swing round and hear what Kate has in store for us, we just wanted to remind you to come check us out on Patreon. You can do so at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. Both Stephanie and Kate support us over there, which we very much appreciate. And you can get loads of bonus audio content for as little as $5 a month. You get access to our long feed of bonus episodes that we've done since 2017, plus all of our newest weekly bonuses that are all trivia-based, including our fourth entry in each month, which is a crop drop, Ask Me Anything style episode. Or for as little as $1 a month, you can just get all of our newest episodes ad-free, just so you don't have to hear us yapping over here. Right, Matt?
Yeah, nobody wants to hear us yapping. Why would you do that on our podcast?
Yeah, you want the questions. You want great questions like Kate's providing today. You don't want to hear us yapping about Patreon. But if you'd like to support the show, get rid of all that, help us get to 600 patrons, which we're trying to do this year, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. All right, Kate, what do you have in store for us today?
All right, for our midpoint round, I have category friends or else. So I want to give a shout out to my friends Jamie and Justine, who specifically requested a friends round at our trivia night and then didn't attend.
Ooh, shots fired.
So I wrote this round for them specifically. Each of the answers you can get to from your friend's knowledge or from some other knowledge that I'm going to ask you about. So
I choose or.
Same.
Same.
All right. Question number 1. Chandler's last name or Microsoft's search engine. Number 2. Chandler's middle name or the name of the title character from a 1994 Australian comedy drama that was the breakout film role for Toni Collette, who received acclaim for her role as a character obsessed with planning the perfect nuptials. Number 3, the name of the police officer Phoebe dated in season 5, or the name of SpongeBob's pet snail. Question 4, Ross falls asleep on a train and ends up in this city, or the Canadian city that hosted the 1976 Summer Olympics. Question 5. The last name that Phoebe often gives is an alias, or the scientific name of a finger bone. Question 6. The first name of Joey's agent, or the first name of the actress who played Sophia Petrillo on The Golden Girls. Question 7. Rachel wrote Ross a letter this many pages long, or the amendment to the U.S. Constitution that enacted prohibition. Question 8. After Rachel walked out of her wedding, she told her dad, "I don't want to be a shoe. I want to be a blank," or the English for chapeau. Question 9. Ross and Rachel's nanny, Sandy, played the song Greensleeves on this instrument, or the instrument John Paul Jones played in Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. And question 10, Monica has this many categories of towels, or the square root of 121.
Okay, we have our clues. We're going to go to the coffee shop and figure these out and come back with our answers.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is,
"Thank you for calling. Please listen to your list of 46 possible service options."
Which is why when you choose USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable. 24/7 online service for claims, access to roadside assistance, and more. All at the touch of a button. Start getting the service you deserve. Get a quote today. Ability to receive a quote depends on membership eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
This is an ad from BetterHelp. As kids, we were always learning and growing. But at some point as adults, we tend to lose that sense of curiosity and excitement. Therapy can help you continue that journey because your back-to-school era can come at any age. And BetterHelp makes it easy to get started with affordable online therapy you can do from anywhere. Rediscover possibility with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com to learn more. That's BetterHelp.com.
Okay, welcome back to the one with the swing round. Thanks to Kate. And we have all of our answers locked in. Let's see how much of these correct answers came from friends and how much came from the clues. Let's throw it to Kate.
All right. Friends or else. Question 1, Chandler's last name or Microsoft's search engine. What'd you guys have?
Yeah, we said Bing.
And we did the exact same with Bing.
Bing is correct. Number 2, Chandler's middle name or the name of the title character from a 1994 Australian comedy drama that was the breakout film role for Toni Collette, who received acclaim for her role as a character obsessed with planning the perfect nuptials.
Yep, that's Muriel's wedding, so we said Muriel.
Yep, I just happen to know the name, so it's Muriel.
Yes, the friends and the or else. Muriel is correct. Number 3, the name of the police officer Phoebe dated in season 5, or the name of SpongeBob's pet snail.
That would be Gary.
Same, Gary.
It's Gary.
Meow.
Number 4, Ross falls asleep on a train and ends up in this city, or the Canadian city that hosted the 1976 Summer Olympics.
We said Montreal.
I feel like you'd have to be asleep a long time to get all the way to Montreal.
It is not that far.
From New
Maybe
York?
a couple hours.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he was really tired in that episode, so he fell asleep for a long time. It is Montreal. Let's see. Question 5.
I feel like the train performers would wake you up at some point.
Like I would think, like at some point you got to cross the border, right?
It does say that's a Greyhound bus here, but I'm looking for a train. It does say 8 hours by public trans, but that's bus, so
yeah, it's probably a faster train. Okay,
6 hour drive. Yeah, I don't know.
Checks out.
All right, question number 5. The last name that Phoebe often gives as an alias, or the scientific name of a finger bone.
Show me phalanges.
We did a stab at phalanges.
Phoebe likes to use the alter ego Regina Phalange. So Phalange is correct.
Oh, we only picked it because it was alliterative too. And it's not even because that's not the first name she uses.
Question 6. The first name of Joey's agent, or the first name of the actress who played Sophia Petrillo on The Golden Girls.
Yep, Estelle Getty used to start all our stories with "Picture this," so we said Estelle.
We said Estelle as well.
Estelle is correct. Question 7. Rachel wrote Ross a letter this many pages long, or the amendment to the U.S. Constitution that enacted prohibition.
We believe this is 19.
Oh, we said 18.
It is 18.
Ooh.
18 amendment is correct. All right, question 8. After Rachel walked out of her wedding, she told her dad, "I don't want to be a shoe. I want to be a blank," or the English for chapeau.
Yeah, we said hat.
Yeah, we guessed hat.
Hat is correct from French. Question 9. Ross and Rachel's nanny, Sandy, played the song Greensleeves on this instrument, or the instrument John Paul Jones played in Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven.
Yep, I remember seeing them Crooked Vultures, and I can't remember the name of the lead singer from that band, but Josh, whatever his name is, Hansy or whatever his name is. Anyway, he was wasted and they had to carry him into a car afterwards. But we said bass guitar because we saw John Paul Jones.
Oh, we went with the flute.
there's a lot of instruments in Stairway to Heaven, but when I think of Led Zeppelin, I think of the recorder.
Ooh.
The recorder is the correct one.
We were closer.
It's funny. I was like, oh, Dwight Schrute plays green sleeves on recorder in The Office.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was Freddie Prinze Jr. played the recorder as the nanny in Friends. And question 10, Monica has this many categories of towels, or the square root of 121.
We said 11.
We agreed. Simple math for us. 11.
Yay, simple math for the win. It is 11. Nice job.
After the swing round, the lead has shrunk to only 5 points. So the rural jurors are picking up 45 from the swing round, bringing their total to 105. And MILF Island picking up 40, just like the age of the MILFs. And we're going to have 110. So 110 to 105.
Got to stop leaning into that, Neal.
That's what gets you in trouble, leaning into MILFs.
You're right up on the edge there.
All right, to start off round 2, we are going to go back to the category of also a fun game. In Mathematicas, el logaritmo natural de E es este número. I'll translate that for you. In mathematics, the natural logarithm of E is this number.
I think if you're okay with that, Jeff.
Yeah, I am.
We're locked in.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Stephanie, what do you think?
Uno.
Natural log of E is 1. Natural log of 1 is 0. You work your way backwards. Uno.
Yeah, we agree.
Uno, sí, correct. Nice job.
Good job, everyone.
Teamwork.
On a tough math question in Spanish. Question 2, current events. Mattel is releasing a new version of which board game that's intended to be less competitive for players that may be intimidated by the current version. New features include helper cards, a simpler scoring system, and quicker play.
What were you thinking?
I was all over the place because I feel like Monopoly is Milton Bradley, isn't it? Not Mattel.
I thought it was acquired by Mattel at some point in time. All the clues lead me to Monopoly, the speeding up the game and a simpler scoring system, because a big reason to not play is because the game takes 3 hours and it's too competitive.
And it ruins families.
It does.
That's the fun part, though.
Because the other ones that I was thinking of that are like Trouble, Sorry, they don't really have like cards.
I don't know what a helper card would do, though. Like, what would it?
Yeah. I mean, it could be the Game of Life. That's another one. Life is Hard, right? I think if they were to make a modern life, it'd be even harder. And then,
roll
COVID
6
hits,
for
and then you
more
have to give
student
all your
loans.
money
So you
away.
make it to this part where you get student loans and then you just fold.
Yeah.
I'm going to defer to you, Matt.
All right. I think we're going to go Monopoly.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a very similar conversation. I don't like Monopoly. I am impressed by people who can play it and who like it. But yeah, we said Monopoly.
All right. Monopoly is owned by Parker Brothers and its parent company Hasbro. So it's not Monopoly. It's actually Scrabble.
Oh.
Scrabble.
Do those games take a long time? I haven't played Scrabble probably in like a decade, but...
Yeah, it can.
Okay.
And the scoring gets tough.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
All right.
That's why you just play Wordle. Does all the scoring for you. Don't worry about it.
Question 3 is fun with flags. This Asian nation's flag code specifies that their tricolor flag must be made with hand-spun cotton or silk, which they happen to be a large producer of.
Neal, you want me to just lock in a guess here? I know an Asian nation that has a very specific flag code, and their flag is 3 colors. Now, whether or not this is the correct one, I don't know about their hand-spun capabilities, but...
And I know what a flag is, so I trust you.
Okay. They're locked in. I don't know. I know... The only ones I know that are tricolor are Myanmar and
Thailand.
Do you think Thailand produces a lot of silk?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I need. Those are two yeses. So let's go with Thailand. You good with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, and we're going to go with the only country I know of that has a mathematically defined flag shape, and we're going to say Nepal.
All right. Well, you guys are in the right area. It actually is
Asia?
India.
Oh, that was my first guess, and then I crossed it off.
Oh, no.
They have their flag is orange, which I believe is called saffron, and white and green.
Oh.
Well.
See, and I was thinking about the symbol in the middle. I was like, that can't be 3 colors because it's got like a blue thing in the middle.
Yeah,
but it is like a tricolor. I get it.
Yeah. And that's when I was researching this question a little bit for that exact reason. The term tricolor is like very specifically tied to India's flag. So I felt it was safe to keep it in.
No, that makes perfect sense.
I always think tricolor meaning it looks like Neapolitan ice cream in the little container.
Which it does.
Tricolor.
It just with like some
would that
like a star, in the middle.
Would that be the Triviality flag? Just a Neapolitan
ice cream?
Ice cream, yeah.
Yeah, non-dairy though, right?
I guess so.
For the vegans?
Or one row is non-dairy and the rest of them are.
I would like people to submit their ideas for a Triviality flag to trivialitypodcast@gmail.com.
You already have one behind you.
Well, we do, but you should post it in the crop on Discord, Patreon, or email us. We want to see your flag designs, what you think would be on them, and then maybe we'll make one. Let's do it.
All right. Question 4 is in the category fantasy fiction. What is the name of the mythical 3-headed dragon from the Godzilla movies?
We are locked in.
Oh boy, 3-headed
Matt,
dragon.
you love the kaiju.
I'm aware of the kaiju. I wouldn't say love. Are you a big Godzilla head over there?
No.
No, I didn't.
Godzilla head.
That's what they're called, obviously. I just watched the 1998 version over and over, and this did not have the dog or the dragon in it. I know Mothra is one of them.
That's not it, I don't think.
But Mothra is a giant moth.
Yes.
There's Mechagodzilla, which is definitely not this one. Cerberus is a mythical creature with 3 heads, but it's a dog. All right, so I listed everything that I could think of that was associated with Godzilla, and none of them are correct. It wasn't 3-headed Matthew Broderick. So Stephanie, I said triple dragon, and you're okay with it?
Yep. One more than double dragon, so that makes sense.
Triple dragon all the way. We know that this creature kind of looks like Hydra, but we believe it's King Ghidorah.
That's correct. King Ghidorah or Ghidorah. And I didn't have any other ways that I could try to give clues to get to that particular bit of information.
Nope.
Yeah, that's
you
a tough one.
knew it or you didn't.
King Ghidorah the Explorer.
There's another before and after. You guys are writing my whole next round for me. All right. Question 5 is back to sports. In April 2023, Simone Biles married an NFL player. In an interview, he said he had, quote, no idea who Simone Biles was when they met, and that he was, quote, the catch in the relationship. Commentary poured out with people saying they had no idea who he was or what sport he even played before that interview. Can you name this Mr. Simone Biles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can lock in
Chicago Bear.
New Chicago Bear, yeah. And well, I'm just happy that Simone Biles will be here supporting the team. I really don't care about him playing. So
yeah, Mr. Simone Biles.
That should be the correct answer because in reality,
he is kind of a nobody. Do you know this offhand? Do you remember this?
I thought
happening?
It was Jonathan something, but I don't.
That is correct. It is Jonathan Owens.
We said Jonathan Owens too.
Jonathan Owens, better known as Mr. Simone Biles.
If he was not on the Bears, I would not know this. 100%.
I wouldn't know it, and I wouldn't care. I just want to watch her compete. So
it's like, how many gold medals have you won, bro? Like,
yeah. After 5 in the second round, it looks like Team Rural Jurors is picking up 20 points, bringing their total to 125. And extending our lead just by a little bit is MILF Island. We got 30 points in that first half, and our score update is going to be 140. So 140 to 125.
All right, sounds good. Moving on to question 6, the category of psychology. A generalized belief about a group of people is known as a stereotype. Give either of the 2 specific stereotypes used to describe the 2 gangs in S.E. Hinton's The Outsiders.
We're locked in.
We have to name the stereotype of the kids from Outsiders.
Do it for Johnny, man.
Yeah.
There's 2. I'll take either.
Are these the kids that stay golden? I don't recall.
Stay gold, not golden.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Pony Boy.
Pony Boy. Pony Boy's here. He's got his switchblade comb. Stephanie, do you have any idea?
Like we need what they're called in.
Yeah, like their
Outsiders?
stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's greasers. I think that's
one.
Yeah, and we just need either, right?
Yeah, either one.
Yeah, I think that's it. I can't remember what, maybe like punks or something for the other one, but greasers is definitely what we're gonna go with, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Lock it in.
Yeah, they went with greasers, which is Pony Boy and Soda Pop and the rest of them, and then their enemies were the Soches, the popular kids. So we said Soches.
That's correct. Or greaser. I think I'm the only person who did not have to read this book in middle school, but my kids did. So
You ended up reading it?
yeah, basically. I did the study guide with them.
New Broadway musical. It's getting rave reviews. Might win the Tony coming up here this Sunday. Or actually today. What am I thinking of? Yeah.
Ooh, exciting. Question 7 is back to country music.
Oh, come on.
It's one you've heard of. John Denver's famous song, Country Roads, makes reference to a specific U.S. state. Give either of the state's specific geographic features mentioned in the opening lines of the song.
And Neal, I think we got something that works, so we're going to lock in.
Alrighty.
I just recently learned that this song is not about West Virginia. He's talking about western parts of Virginia, and it's actually not about West Virginia.
Well,
at
that's
all.
news to me.
I know. It was very shocking. I said, how is this not about the Mountaineer state? Do you know what they're referring to in this one?
I think aside from the Mountain Mama, I think
that's
Blue
the
Ridge,
geographic feature.
Blue Ridge Mountains, maybe.
Big Mountain Mamas.
Mountain Mama was the winner of the first season of North Island.
Oh, she was glorious.
What did you say? Blue
Ridge Mountains, right? Or am I making that up?
I think that's right. I think we can lock in with that.
Jeffrey?
Yeah. We said Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
Yeah, those are it. The Blue Ridge Mountains and the Shenandoah River. Good job. Question 8 is another before and after. This Bruce Springsteen song is often misinterpreted as patriotic, but is actually about a Shakespearean comedy set in a magical forest in Athens.
Okay, so going through all my Bruce Springsteen songs, and I can't think of anything except for Born in the USA, and it's not America. So if it's just A, can you think of a Shakespeare play that starts with A?
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
I think that is perfect. So we're going to lock in with Born in the US, A Midsummer's Night Dream. Nights?
We'll give you credit.
Hey, yeah. Close enough.
We agree. We think it is Born in the USA, Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's it. You got all the pieces. Put them together. Good job.
Got all the pieces.
Great clue.
Question 9, Elf on the Shelf. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf. Now get ready for a spherical pink Nintendo character from the planet Popstar above a robot toy from Tiger Electronics.
Yeah, we're locked in.
This is great.
Well, you can't leave this in your room.
Y'all are locked
give your secrets to the CIA.
Yes.
Not only that, I'm pretty sure that if you come back 20 minutes later, there'll be 4,000 of them.
What is it, Kirby on a Furby or something?
It's a Kirby on a Furby. That's 100% right.
Yeah, we agree.
Kirby on a Furby is correct. And Elf on a Shelf can be just as fun in audio as in the visual round.
That's right.
All right. Question 10. We're going to do one more before and after. If you build it, he will come run the 100-meter dash and pole vault. I'll give you a little hint that I'm not sticking to the strictly before and after format in terms of what's listed first in the question isn't necessarily going to be what's given first in the answer.
All right. We think we got it. We're going to lock in.
Oh, no. They think they got it because I don't know.
Well, I don't got it. Okay.
Oh, no.
She's barely holding on, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
Okay, so do you know where if you build it, he will come comes from?
I thought you said Field of Dreams.
So Field of Dreams and the 100-meter dash and pole vault are track and field events. So I think that this is possibly track and field of dreams.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
We had a very similar conversation. We kind of went into the weeds a little bit, trying to think of maybe a specific athlete, but then we said, it just makes more sense to be track and field of dreams. So we locked in with the same.
Yeah, that's it. We're just keeping it simple. Track and field of dreams.
I was really close to saying Shoeless Joe Jackie Joyner Kersey or something along the lines. I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. So I'm glad it was that simple.
And tabulating the scores from the second round, it's still a very close game. The rural jurors picking up 50 points, batting perfect in the second half, bringing their total to 175. And also batting perfect, MILF Island bringing their total to 190. So just 15 points separate both teams. Before we get to the final round, just one more shout out to Patreon. Stephanie, you've been a Patreon supporter for a really long time, and we really appreciate it. Are you enjoying all the bonus content, or do you kind of download it and then throw it in the trash?
Both.
Okay, that's all we can ask for. We've appreciated you supporting us for so long. And Kate, you've been a Patreon supporter. You were on Bloodsport, very, very close to winning it, and that was because you were a Patreon supporter. Are you enjoying all the content as well?
Yes, I love it. And I want to thank you guys for having that Bloodsport, because you randomly drew my name out of a hat, I think a literal hat, and that forced me to be on your show. And if that hadn't happened, I don't know that I ever would have signed up. And I really have enjoyed it. So I would have missed out on doing that. So thanks for roping me into this, because it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, well, good. Thank you. Yeah.
So that's a very nice compliment.
Yes, it is. And we're so happy to have you here. And both of you are always welcome anytime. But if you'd like to join both Stephanie and Kate on Patreon to help support us, you can go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. What are the final round categories we're going to be wagering on, Kate?
All right. So for the final round, the topic that I went with was separate from our trivia night. And this is just going to be a round of stuff I learned in museums. So my husband and I are on a committee here in our town that's raising money to try and build a new museum here in our town. So to help us learn about museums, we've been touring museums all over the place. And I've learned a bunch of random stuff. So that's what I've put together for my questions for you today. So the categories are just the names of the museums. I'll read those off, and if you would like, I can go back and give you a little more specific category if you think that would help.
I think that would help. Yeah.
All right. So question 1 is about the Detroit Institute of Art, and that is an art question. Question 2 is from the Neil Armstrong Moon Museum in Wapakoneta, Ohio. And that is a space history question. Question 3 is from the Hagerman History Museum in Hagerman, Idaho. And that is a paleontology question. Question 4 is from the Collinsville Museum in Collinsville, Illinois. And that is an Americana question. Question 5 is from the Bath School Museum in Bath, Michigan, and that is a U.S. history question.
Okay, all the wagers are now locked in for those great categories and all the cool museums we're all going to have to visit. But let's go to Kate for the questions, and we'll see how we're going to do.
All right, question 1 is from the Detroit Institute of Art. The DIA has one of the largest and most significant art collections in the United States, and is well known for Diego Rivera's Detroit industry frescoes, as well as a large collection of American art. A lesser-known work by Swiss artist Henri Fuseli can be found in one of the second-floor galleries. This painting depicts a woman wearing a white gown and sprawled across a bed in deep sleep. An incubus sits atop her chest as the head of a horse can be seen peering out from behind a curtain. Give the name of this terrifying painting, which references what you might experience after viewing it, or possibly the type of horse. Question 2 is from the Neil Armstrong Museum in Wapakoneta, Ohio. When the Apollo 11 astronauts returned to Earth after the first moon landing, NASA scientists required them to quarantine for 60 hours out of fear that they might bring back moon germs. What company provided the mobile quarantine facility that included living and sleeping quarters, a kitchen, bathroom, and an appropriate space-age design? Question 3. The Hagerman History Museum in Hagerman, Idaho. Hagerman, Idaho is located across the Snake River from the Hagerman Fossil Beds National Monument, which is one of the richest Pliocene fossil deposits in the world. It's best known for a quarry that contained hundreds of complete fossilized skeletons that are a possible relative of the extinct Dinohippus and are an ancestor to which common land mammal. Similar fossils have been discovered in Texas, and it's quite common to see the modern version of this animal in both Texas and Idaho today. Question 4 is from Collinsville Museum in Collinsville, Illinois. Collinsville is home to the world's largest bottle of what product? This 170-foot tall example of 20th century roadside Americana was not actually filled with the product, but rather with water used in its production. I also saw a similar attraction at a museum in Pittsburgh, though the product there was produced by a different company and has a slightly different spelling. And question 5 is from the Bascule Museum in Bath, Michigan. The Bascule Museum tells the story of the Bascule disaster that occurred on May 18, 1927, when a disgruntled former school board member set off an explosion in the basement of the school building on the last day of school. He then arrived at the chaotic scene and detonated a second blast in what is recognized as the first suicide car bombing. The explosions killed a total of 44 children, staff, and community members and injured dozens more. This event made national and international headlines, though very few people are aware of it today. What major historical event occurred later that same week, which pushed the Bath disaster out of the headlines? Coincidentally, this event involved a Michigan native who himself was later the victim of a child-related crime.
Okay, we will look at these and be back with our answers.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Why is it that with sparkling water, I'm always playing guessing games with what flavor I'm drinking? Is it citrus? Is it aluminum can flavored? Not sure. Sparkling ice, though, they really mean flavor. Like in-your-face flavor. Orange mango, black raspberry. Don't even get me started on the strawberry lemonade. Kiwi strawberry slid right into my taste buds DMs last night and let them know who's boss. No subtleties there, and no sugar either. But it does have vitamins and antioxidants. Find sparkling ice at a major grocery store or club retailer near you. Sparkling ice. Anything but subtle.
Everybody shush! William Shatner has something to say.
Cat and Jethro, box of oddities.
What do you do when the woman you love dies? Well, of course you dig her up and you live with her.
Aww.
The show examines weird things.
There are plenty of old photographs from this time period of children out in the streets playing in and among the dead horse carcasses.
Oh, I miss those days. Things used to be so much simpler.
Cat and Jethro.
Then there's the urine wheel, which sounds like a really bad game show.
They've done weird things. Cat and Jethro, box of oddities. That is really mysterious.
Join Cat and Jethro Gilligan Toth for the strange, the bizarre, the unexpected, as they lift the lid and cautiously peer inside the Box of Oddities.
The Webby Award-winning Box of Oddities podcast from Airwave Media.
Okay, all the answers are now locked in. We're going to throw it back to Kate for the clues, and we'll see how this all shakes out.
All right. Question 1 in my museum tour was from the Detroit Institute of Art. The DIA has one of the largest and most significant art collections in the U.S. and is well known for Diego Rivera's Detroit industry frescoes, as well as a large collection of American art. A lesser-known work by Swiss artist Henry Fuseli can be found in one of the second-floor galleries. This painting depicts a woman wearing a white gown and sprawled across a bed in deep sleep. An incubus sits atop her chest as the head of a horse can be seen peering out from behind a curtain. Give the name of this terrifying painting, which references what you might experience after viewing it, or possibly the type of horse.
This is what I look like when I'm trying to get my phone if I accidentally left it under Colleen's pillow and she's sleeping. But we said for 20 points, this is The Nightmare.
Yep, and we did the same for 20 points, Nightmare.
The Nightmare is correct. And I learned about this painting after listening to the Art of History podcast that you guys had suggested from
Airwave Media.
Yeah, synergy.
Question 2. The Neil Armstrong Moon Museum in Wapakoneta, Ohio. When the Apollo 11 astronauts returned to Earth after the moon landing, NASA scientists required them to quarantine for 60 hours out of fear they may bring back moon germs. What company provided the mobile quarantine facility that included living and sleeping quarters, a kitchen, a bathroom, and an appropriate space-age design?
Yep, pretty funny photo of this, of the astronauts looking out at Richard Nixon. Might be the only photo I like with Richard Nixon. And it's an Airstream trailer, so that's what we put.
I don't know what any of that is, but we wagered 15 points and said Disney, based off the World of Tomorrow.
The correct answer is Airstream. And I believe you can actually see one of those Airstream trailers at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. Question number 3. The Hagerman History Museum in Hagerman, Idaho. Hagerman, Idaho is located across the Snake River from the Hagerman Fossil Beds National Monument, which is one of the richest Pliocene fossil deposits in the world. It's best known for a quarry that contained hundreds of complete fossilized skeletons that are a possible relative of the extinct Dinohippus and are an ancestor to which common land mammal. Similar fossils have been discovered in Texas, and it's quite common to see the modern version of this animal in both Texas and Idaho today.
We weren't too sure on this one. We just thought what would look like a cool fossil and maybe give you some sort of STD, but we said armadillo for 20 points.
We wagered 20, and we thought that this is also a type of horse. We just said horse.
Horse is correct. I think you guys clued in on the hippus of Dinohippus.
Oh, I did not. That was all Stephanie.
Oh, hippus. That's right. Now, is this related to you in any way, the Hagerman Museum?
No, it's not at all. Though my husband and I took a quick trip out to Idaho a couple weeks ago, and the town is named after a typo. Like somebody added the R by mistake. So it's not related
so no
to us at
discounts
all.
for you
No.
throughout the town.
Though we were kind of a novelty.
You're like, do you know who I am?
Question 4. The Collinsville Museum in Collinsville, Illinois. Collinsville is home to the world's largest bottle of what product? This 170-foot tall example of 20th century roadside Americana was not actually filled with the product, but rather with water used in its production. I also saw a similar attraction at a museum in Pittsburgh, though the product there was produced by a different company and has a slightly different spelling.
Yep, for 30 points, we thought that maybe the one in Pittsburgh was Ketchup by Heinz, so we said the other one had to be Catsup, so that's what we locked in with.
We wagered 30, and we thought it'd be funny if it's in Illinois because we don't put this on our hot dogs, so we also said Hunt's Catsup.
I'll take it. I think it's actually Brooks is the brand of catsup or Heinz ketchup in Pittsburgh, but ketchup is the correct answer. We will take it. In another 2-for-1 museum question. Question 5 is from the Bass-School Museum in Bath, Michigan. The Bass-School Museum tells the story of the Bass-School disaster that occurred on May 18, 1927, when a disgruntled former school board member set off an explosion in the basement of the school building on the last day of school. He then arrived at the chaotic scene and detonated a second blast in what is recognized as the first suicide car bombing. The explosions killed a total of 44 children, staff, and community members and injured dozens more. This event made national and international headlines, though very few people are aware of it today. What major historical event occurred later that same week, which pushed the Bath disaster out of the headlines? Coincidentally, this event involved a Michigan native who himself was later the victim of a child-related crime.
We'll let the other team go first if you want.
We wagered 20, and we said the Hindenburg baby.
And that was one of the reasons we let you go first. We, for 30, this inspired Murder on the Orient Express. We said this was the Lindbergh baby.
Yes. I think I'm going to give...
Lindbergh crossing the Atlantic. But
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Which was what I have written for the record.
That was the correct answer.
I actually had Lindbergh, and I crossed it off when he said Hindenburg.
Oh, no.
Stop crossing out right answers. That was your biggest
Well,
problem.
I'm listening to you, sir.
That's your biggest problem. I take that back.
That's
That's
an even
your
bigger
biggest
problem.
problem.
Not advised.
This game was a real Hindenburg for us.
Okay.
So yes, the correct answer was Charles Lindbergh's transatlantic solo flight, which was later in 1927.
Yeah.
The Hindenburg was 1937.
37, yeah. I always remember it comes 25 years after the Titanic.
I did in 7, so if you think about it.
And I'm not sure when the Lindbergh baby was, like probably
30s?
Maybe early 30s. Yeah.
After the game, it looks like the rural jurors are going to be picking up 35 points, bringing their total to 210. But picking up 80 points is MILF Island, bringing our total to 270, and making us today's cream of the crop.
On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm better than you are. Yeah.
Great game. Stephanie, you basically carried Matt the whole game. You wrote down the right answers. You crossed them out. So you only have yourself to blame.
I will. I'm going to go cry now. Thank you.
No, but you're 1-1 now. So that way you have to come back and we'll have to have the final decision about, your supreme overlordship over the podcast.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Is that how it works?
I guess so.
The deed to the podcast is on the
deed
line.
to the podcast. Yes. Well, let's start with Stephanie. Thank you so much for being here, for being a Patreon supporter and for so long as well. But it's always a pleasure having you here and getting a chance to hang out. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Just want to thank all of you. You guys make my day brighter, which I appreciate. I get a little bit dumber and smarter each podcast, so I can appreciate that. And also just wanted to shout out, it's Mental Health Month. Definitely, if you feel that someone is in need, 988 is the crisis number. Just check on people, be kind, and that's it.
Great message. Yes, 988. Definitely call that if you need it. And thank you so much for being here and for having such a fun time with us. Kate, questions were awesome. Great themes. Some of them were easier than we thought they were. Some of them were harder than we thought they were, but it was a great mix. Anything you'd like to say or any shout outs before we let you go today?
These questions, as I mentioned earlier, came from our Trivia Night fundraiser. It's a great, easy way to make some money because there's like zero cost up front other than just writing some questions. So if anybody out there has a group that would like to do something similar for a fundraiser, please reach out to me and I can definitely send you some material to get you started. And if you're curious about learning more about the Bass-School Museum or the Bass-School disaster, check out basschoolmuseum.org. We are currently fundraising to build a new museum. And that's it.
Well, that was an awesome game. We also have to thank our network, Airwave Media. If you go to airwavemedia.com, you can check out a bunch of new shows. One of them, Noodle Loaf. Not sure if that's the offspring of Meatloaf. The other one here is a phrase that I feel like Stephanie would say to one of us: my history can beat up your politics. So check out that podcast. And last but not least, we talked about the nightmare painting with the little incubus on there. You can check out Monster Talk also. And Matt, any last words before we bid adieu to our listeners?
I don't. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.